horoscopes well?
A little bit. Well enough, I think, for the most part.
What are you?
A Libra.
Isn't it?
Yay.
When's your birthday?
October 8th.
Okay.
When's
September
yours?
28th.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Do you know all your rising and all that other stuff, or?
I
Have you
did
had-
at one point,
Okay.
and now I think I've forgotten it.
Okay.
I know that one of them is like a Taurus, and I was like, oh,
Cool.
that makes sense because my Libra-ness is a bit too chill for how I am personally.
Okay.
Naturally, as a person, I am quite by the book, you could say, on things. So I was like, oh, that must be the Taurus.
I wish
Well, I don't
knew
even
more
honestly
about
don't even
it.
know what they all are. I always hear about the Geminis.
hmm
I know Libras.
Cancers. Yeah.
I love Geminis. My favorite sign.
When is that?
Gemini is in May.
Yeah. We ready? I mean, I still got. Can we keep talking about horoscopes? I'm kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Bella, welcome to the Viall Files.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
great to
We're
have
so
you.
excited.
Where'd you get that sparkle cup?
Oh yeah, yeah. A
It's
little bit of
Versace.
a little something in here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A little light
Little-
vodka.
Oh, there we go. Love that. And if you need to top it
Refill.
off, we got a whole bar. No one ever drinks it.
I know
We
there
just
is
end
a
up
lot
doing
of
shots
liquor up
after
there.
this.
We do a lot of morning interviews, but
Yeah.
we did have someone come in and like rip shots at like 10 a.m. once.
No judgment.
Wow,
No judgment.
that's awesome in some ways.
It's kind of like
committed to a
seeing-
cause.
It's kind of like seeing people at the airport when you have a super early flight and they're sitting at the bar like with wine and you're like, I mean, I guess,
Mhm.
you got to get through it
Isn't
some
airport
way.
though different? Isn't it like at any time in an airport?
That's
I
true.
feel like
It's
you
like
should be
5
allowed
o'clock.
to drink.
Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock somewhere in an airport.
Yeah, there's like no rules maybe in an airport, except there's a lot of rules.
Mhm.
Except,
Except drinking. alcohol.
So
and
many
time
rules.
does matter because you do want to make your flight. But I suppose it is like you walk into an airport, you're kind of on vacation.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So how have you been? Like obviously crazy world these days. Like
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
Is
know
everybody even-
was everything safe
Yeah,
fire wise?
yes. Thankfully,
thankfully.
yes, the house is there. I was out of town as well filming, and my sister and whatnot had to evacuate, and it was so scary being on FaceTime and whatnot with
Oh,
her, dealing with that situation. And yeah, when I had come home, I was like, I guess we'll see if it's still there.
That's
Yeah, I bet that would have
yeah.
been freaky to like not
feeling.
even be home and just be watching everything happen and like not know.
Yeah,
What's
and be
going
checking
on.
in on
Yeah.
everybody, constantly, seeing how everyone was doing. Yeah, very
That's
weird
scary,
being
yeah.
on the other side.
That is really weird. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay, I am super intrigued by just your life in general. I'm 26, so I grew up on Shake It Up.
Oh, yay.
Love Shake It Up. What was that your first ever like acting experience or did you do anything before that?
Yes. Yeah. I did quite a few things before that. I was on Big Love on HBO and quite a few other shows, some movies, but
Oh, so you
nothing
were-
comedy. So that was my first comedy. I had wondered growing up in my life if I would ever do comedy, if I was even funny in any sort of way.
Well, you crush, clearly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My sister actually went over those lines with me for the audition. And so that's like a really fond memory.
Yeah, I bet. I
Mhm.
feel like, I mean, so how old were you when you first got into acting?
8. Yeah.
Wow.
hmm
And like, how did that even happen?
Well, I had been modeling since I was born, since I was 6 weeks old, oddly enough.
So you were
And
just a perfect child. And they were like, this baby's so beautiful.
no, actually, I was an ugly baby. My mom never forgets to remind me that I was a very ugly
She's like, I don't know
baby.
how you booked these jobs, but you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, so I was quite blue
Oh my
when I came
God.
out. Yeah, and they had to rush me away, and then hours
Got it.
later they brought me back, and my mom was like, "That one's not mine," and she kept telling them to look at her other previous children, and they were all very beautiful babies. My sister even won the Beautiful Baby Award in the hospital. Who does
The
that?
fuck?
I mean, wow,
I'm
since you're
sorry.
this little.
Just getting into shame real early in your.
And I had all this like dark hair that later on fell out and became blonde. But she was definitely kept telling them that I was not the baby. I was not the baby that came out. And they were like, no, this one
Promise
is
ya.
yours.
Yeah.
She was like, no, not that one. Yeah. Yeah. And then somewhere along the way, I just
You're
How'd it glow up?
really, yeah, you really came through. Wow.
Like as soon as you got that look, mom just rushed you in
Yeah.
to the modeling gig. What was your first? I mean, what was your first early memory of modeling? Like, were you doing it all the way through as a young child?
Yes. Yeah. All the way through. There was a Target commercial as well. I did commercials as well and then did acting. And one really fond memory I have is this Target commercial. And there was all these butterflies on set and they had such colorful sets and everything matched and it was monochromatic. And it's really such a beautiful commercial. And when I think about the stuff that I like, even in my own house or when it comes to building sets and how much that's in me. And I feel like it came from that moment being so wowed as I think I was 6 or 7. And I was just so amazed by the color and the sets and it all being matching. Yeah, it's a very, very beautiful commercial. Target killed it on that one.
And did you enjoy it all the way through? Were there ever moments where you're just like, I'm over this? Or is it something that you always just kind of
No,
love
not
doing?
yeah, not as a child. I think you're stoked.
Yeah.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think when you start to get a little bit older and you're tired,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh man, this is a long day.
Yeah. So there was no part of you that would have rather been like outside playing with your friends or doing whatever.
No, I
you
didn't have
wanted to-
friends.
Oh,
I was
my-
not yeah. No, I was
Mm.
also bullied in school when I was there. So they took me out and they took me to Sylvan Learning Center. Then I was diagnosed with
Sylvan
dyslexia.
Learning
And yeah, I was,
Nick's also dyslexic,
Yeah.
so safe space.
Yeah, rock on.
yes.
I'm not.
You honestly brought awareness to it
What
for me.
the
Sorry.
fuck?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, seriously, I know, because you were honestly back. I'm a bit older, so like when I was a kid, you didn't know about dyslexia or talk
Yeah.
about dyslexia. And honestly, like if you found out you were dyslexic, you weren't telling people. Like that was something
Mhm.
you definitely would have gotten picked on. And it wasn't until I was adult where I was like, why can I not read out loud very well? And I could never
Yeah.
figure it out because I was just like, I'm not
So-
stupid.
So what age did you get diagnosed?
Like in my 30s. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Was it like somewhat
Yeah, it was. It didn't really change anything. I didn't take any
dyslexic courses?
courses to help me like read better aloud. Honestly, like
I don't know if they have those.
I don't know if they do because like I would love because like a teleprompter is like a nightmare for me. I'm like
Yes,
slow
the
down, please. Oh my
teleprompter.
god!
Oof.
But
Scary
it does. It like I felt a little seen. Not to sound corny, but it was just like I'm a big believer in like I don't like to like lean into my weaknesses, so to speak, but I think it's just nice to know what they are. So at least I just like be like, oh, like I don't have to make excuses for anything. I'm just dyslexic now. So
Yeah.
it's you. I don't lead with it, but like yeah, like now I know why I have no idea like how many vowels are in a word,
Mhm.
or like why I have a hard time reading a teleprompter, and everyone else makes it look so easy, and it looks
Yeah.
so hard for me. So
Mhm. I still have like a huge fear of reading out loud in front of people. And when I was doing my book tour and whatnot, it was like, no, you are doing this. Like this is something that in my book there is like a lot of references to dyslexia and whatnot, and I spell things wrong, and then I rewrite it on the typewriter and rewrite it again, and it keeps spelling it wrong. And it was like a nice way to like. I'm dyslexic. Everybody made me feel a lot better about myself. I
Yeah.
think.
it's actually, and also one of my favorite. After I found out, then people were telling me all the very talented, very successful people who are dyslexic.
Mhm.
Apparently,
So many.
Yeah.
Many.
The
Them
first book
creatives.
that Nick bought our daughter River was the Dyslexic ABCs, and it was every.
I bought it for myself.
Yeah, it was like Albert Einstein for A, or like all of the people who have just been so brilliant in this world who are also dyslexic.
all
So
for the
you
every
could-
letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that book.
No,
That's
it's
an
like
awesome
we were at
book.
like a kid's store, and I bought it for me. Like I didn't. I mean, I'll read it to her someday, but I was like, I'll tell her about Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were all. I mean, many people are. Natalie has some horrific bullying stories.
I mean, it was the full Mean Girl scene of like I had started modeling at a young age, and they took one of my modeling pictures, and she wrote "sucks for free, whore," and like all over school,
Oh
like
my
all over
God.
Twitter. It was everywhere, and
I'm so
Nightmare.
sorry.
It was a nightmare. But then I quickly left and was like, I'm going to move to New York and model, bitch.
Yeah,
How about
exactly.
that?
Fuck you, whore.
Yeah, but it was very traumatic. So I understand that like feeling of being like, let me just get the fuck out of here.
How long did you have to deal with that?
For like, I left like Christmas time. So it was the beginning of, so like August to December probably.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Every once in a while,
Bitch.
Natalie will get like a DM from someone from like back home, and Natalie will be like, "Yep, heard from another bully," because now that like Natalie's out here, and
Yeah, I'm sure they've forgotten all
gotten
about
a little bit in the
their
public
horrible ways.
eye.
Oh my God, girl, how are you?
She's like, "Oh my God, you made it!" Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
I
you ever-
always loved you.
Did you ever hear from any of your like high school bullies who like decided to forget that they were assholes to you and like just remind you like, "Oh, we used to go to school and be best friends"?
No, actually one of my biggest bullies was my teacher.
Oh.
She really went out of her way to bully me and in front of classmates, make me get up and read knowing I couldn't, make me stay there. At one point she even threw away a Christmas present that's like, when you get those things and it has the mug and it has the little cocoa and stuff. And so our parents got all the teachers like different things. And I saw it in the trash when I came back from recess. And I'll never forget seeing it just physically in the trash and like not being able to really comprehend that as a child of like, why is it in there?
Yeah.
And I just didn't really understand. And when I told my mom when I had gotten home, she was like, "Oh, she did what?" And she was so upset. She even went as far as to fake my testing to get into the next grade because she wanted to keep me and humiliate me.
What?
And my
Was this teacher ever reprimanded?
oh yeah, my principal, who had a really, I think, a fond liking to me because I was bullied and sometimes I would have to sit in her room and do things instead of being with the rest of the class doing things like testing and whatever. So when my mom got back those results and stuff and she took it to the principal and was like, look at this handwriting stuff does not match. It literally doesn't match. And the principal had me retake the test and I passed with flying colors. This whole bag.
Crazy.
So then she was put on leave after that. And yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
I was in second grade going to third.
That is the craziest thing ever. How can an adult just like hate a second grader that much?
Who's a teacher?
Literally. And I understand that I was often not in school a lot with modeling so young. And because I spoke Spanish and that's my first language, and with the reading, I don't know what about me made her like hate me, or if she just thought it was so funny when I was reading to be crying in front of everybody and to keep making me do it. Like, I don't know where in her, I don't know where anybody gets joy out of a child crying and being, a stepping stone in that in any sort of way.
No, that's
I'm
the
like,
craziest thing I've ever heard.
Why? But I have seen comments before like, "Oh, I was friends with her in school." And I was like, "Liar, liar, liar. I ain't have no friends. You're all liars."
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things when Natalie reads me these messages from girls.
It's also
reach out.
sometimes when like I get hate from people, I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to be like, fuck you. Because it's like the shit I went through at such a young age, like,
yeah, you're like,
this does not affect me anymore. Like,
good for you.
maybe it would.
That's a hard feeling to have. That's strength.
It is very hard. So I also am very sorry that you went through that. I know that it can be very traumatic.
Bullied sisters.
We're bullied sisters. We're connected.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, trauma bonding. Isn't it good?
Yeah, it's good to get it out. I always love the like again like it always feels good to like rise above the shit that happens to you and yeah, like sometimes we'll just run into people when we go back home to her house and the different people who react to Natalie. It's like especially when they're like, "Oh, you made it," or whatever. It's like it sucks to hear, but like stories when she was picked on. But you can definitely like when we run into some people, like one girl when it was in Thanksgiving, you ran into a girl, and she's like, "Oh, you really made it." And the girl she was with was someone who like bullied you or didn't like, and like she kept going, and like I don't know. I'm always proud of you when I see people like think like you made it out here or whatever. It's always fun.
Thanks. I think it's more so just like getting out of your hometown,
Yeah.
which is sometimes really hard to do. I mean, you're from a small town in Florida,
Mhm.
right? When did you personally feel like I have made it? I'm out of this small town. I'm out of the bullying. I'm away from the trauma.
Let's see, a month ago, maybe?
Like yesterday?
Yeah, I'm not sure that some of those feelings will ever go away or that I will ever really feel like I made it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that my want for creative more will ever allow me to feel that way.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I'll always still have that kind of feeling inside of me. I'm not sure when. Oh, don't look like you're gonna
Sad.
cry.
No,
Oh
it's
God.
sad. I don't want you to feel like that forever.
Yeah, I would like to not feel like that forever as well. And I think, at some point probably will not when something is so incredible and I really feel like I've done something really great, then maybe I'll not have that feeling a little bit. But yeah, I think I always use all those feelings to drive me. Or else they'll just sit there getting negative and
Mhm.
stirred. And yeah, it's always best to do something with them, put it
Yeah.
into something.
I definitely have a hard time like enjoying any successes I've had with things I've done. I try to work on that. I mean, you've obviously had a very successful career. You've done a lot of amazing things despite like having that feeling. Is there one thing that you've done that you are, really proud of or that you're most proud of all the cool things that you've accomplished?
I would say probably reading my book out loud at Carnegie Hall.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
that was a nice one. It was three separate reasons to be proud. One, my dad always loved Carnegie Hall, and so to get there and him not be here to see it was and I got to do my poetry about him as well.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, and I think the reading out loud and having a book that's solely based on mental health and being a bit of a mess and dealing with those feelings on the inside and being able to do that, all three of those things was like I don't think I'll ever forget that feeling. Yeah, I do remember that the person I was dating though at the time decided to pick a fight with me the whole night. Okay.
Ah.
And I was so upset and I ordered like Uber Eats. And I'll never forget that I actually like looked at the street that they were picking up the food at for some reason, and it was Delancey Street, which is my dad's name. So I was like, yes.
Oh my
And also,
God.
F you, boyfriend. You can go suck it. Yeah. So it was nice. It was like my dad's like, don't let anybody dim your shine. You got it,
That's a
girl.
great answer. Yeah. Like to be able to read that aloud. Especially
Yeah.
given all the things that you've done, like definitely it wasn't an answer I was expecting. It's a cool
Thanks.
moment.
I also got to read at the White House. Yeah, for kids with disabilities, and that was like one of my first times publicly reading, and I was so scared and nervous, and I asked my mom how I did when I was done, and she said, "You can take a breath, have." Because I read I was so
In one
afraid to
breath.
mess up one word that I read the entire book like this, all like this, and the whole entire time, and then I was done. It was like-
No, I completely relate to that as a dyslexic person.
like,
You
let's
get done,
just
you're
get
like,
through as fast as possible.
I will not mess up. I will not mess up.
How old were you? You're talking about your dad a lot. I know he passed in 2007,
Mhm.
right? How old were you when he died?
I was 9.
Wow. And how did he pass?
A motorcycle accident. Yes.
He was riding the motorcycle?
Yes, he had nitrous put on his Ducati, which, as you know, is a great idea for anybody.
Oh, my God.
And he had problems with his bike turning off. And he took it back to the shop. And I remember my mom and dad arguing about this bike in general. And my mom always saying, like, you're gonna kill yourself one day using that bike. Like, she was so upset when he got it. And it was turning off, so they put it back in the shop, and the shop let it out earlier than it was supposed to. And that first time he wrote it, it just stopped and he spun out. And then they airlifted him, and by the time they got him on the table per se, because he had so many broken bones, his heart gave out on him and then he had a heart attack. So technically he died of a heart attack, but it was because of too much pressure. Yeah, So that was shitty. And then our grandma died like 2 months later, and that was like, my mom's mom. That's like, the
Oh,
one who really raised her, and that just, oof, that was a double whammy for the
yeah.
family for sure.
What was that conversation like when I assume your mom told you about your dad?
Oh, well, we just heard, we were supposed to go to the beach that morning. My dad was also supposed to come up in the next few days, finally, to LA and kind of close out his house there and actually move here with us. So that was also weird timing. And I remember in my bunk bed, hearing my mother screams. And I walked out and she was against the wall and she fell to the floor and she's on the phone and she's just screaming bloody murder like an animal being slaughtered is
Oh my
is what it
God.
sounded like. I'll never forget those screams. And she didn't believe them as well. She was like, "You're lying to me," because his phone was off and they turned it on and all the text messages come through. So she's like, "I
Oh,
just got
yeah.
text from him like literally 15 minutes ago, so it has to be wrong." And that also like messed with her brain. And then it took hours, for then somebody to come to the door. So in that whole time, she was in complete disbelief. It's just not possible. He's just texted me. You have it wrong. And then when the police came to the door, yeah, then that was another, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the initial heartbreak and then the like, wait, no,
Yeah,
there's
it's just
hope.
not possible.
And
Yeah.
then the
Mhm.
heartbreak again to follow.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hard.
Yeah, I think my mom knew in her soul, though, with those blood-curdling screams, it was like her heart had been ripped out, and we didn't have enough money to go down to see him, to cremate him, essentially, and whatnot. So, that was also a dark time as well because we couldn't be there. We were actually given to our friends, the Webbers, funny enough, who ended up on The Bachelor.
Wait, Peter
And
Weber?
yeah, Peter Weber.
What?
Yeah, Jack and Peter, and they became, like, our solace for that, like, week while my mom went down,
Oh.
and dealt with the, you know, passing stuff, and then she came down and the house was broken into, everything was gone, stolen, like,
Oh, man.
oh, my mom just got it again and again and again. And then, yeah, the only way that we even were able to, I think, fully understands when she came back, she had photos of him on the metal slab and she showed us those photos on the BlackBerry. Yeah,
Wow.
never forget them photos either.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
scarring.
and I remember we were arguing, my siblings and I were arguing, and my mom, she was just like, "You want something to argue about? Look at this." And it was so much pain in that time. Like,
Do you
those
feel like your
photos.
mom
Ugh.
had like anyone she could go
No,
to? It was
no
just y'all.
one,
Yeah.
no one. Yeah. And I think my mom has always felt that way in her life. We don't have much family, and my father's side is Jehovah Witness, and they like disowned him.
Mm.
So they wouldn't even come to the cremation, and I know that hurt my mom a lot, not being able to have any side of his family.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to say goodbye to your dad?
No, no, we hadn't seen him in months, like, at
Wow.
that point. Yeah. He was just coming back.
No.
So that was, yeah.
How have your family been able to heal over the years? Or if I'm assuming they have.
Yeah, I don't know that we ever really fully, will totally heal, but we try to honor his memory. On his
Sure.
birthday, we'll write things on a balloon and then send them up. And I think we all try in our own little ways. I made my jewelry because he always wanted a Thorn Empire, and he never got to see that or us do any of that. So that's why I call it Thorn Dynasty, because hopefully one day he'll, get to see that and be like, fuck yeah, like you better get it. So yeah, it's all like designed after Florida and family and my dad. Thank you. So
I feel like he is. I mean, I feel like he's clearly he's like along the way the whole time, It's like he was there in Carnegie Hall,
yeah,
Like I feel like he's been in your back pocket this whole time since he passed,
yeah.
Like So it's really special that you get to like live on some like his dream.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
special.
And keep that for generations to come. When I have children and whatnot, obviously they'll never get to meet their grandpa. So I think having that, I got a fucking painting of a family photo of us hanging in, like right when you walk into my house, and it's fucking big. And these amazing artists did it for me, and like they recaptured his smile so much. So I'm definitely like
Oh,
not letting him die again in
yeah,
any sort of way.
that's so special.
Well, I know it's obviously not easy to share, but thank you for opening
I
up
feel like I
about that.
fucked up my makeup.
You didn't. You're beautiful.
But
You
I used a
didn't.
primer, so
Yeah,
this primer
primer's
better come
working
through for
really
me right
good.
now.
There's nothing worse than a little bit of rain ruining your plans, let alone your outfit. That's why we love Vessi, the perfect weather companion in a shoe that you can always rely on to keep your plans going and your feet dry. Vessi is a footwear company whose waterproof technology is such a game changer for outings on rainy days while also providing you all-day comfort. It doesn't even need to be a rainy day. I mean, listen, if you live into a city, who knows when rain can come and where you could step into like a puddle or a creek. I don't know. Maybe you're like a hiker or something. Also, maybe you're a boater. Vessi is the perfect shoe to complement any of those activities. The best part about Vessi is their sneakers look great and they're incredibly comfortable. They got a great lineup of all different types of assortment of shoes. Their weekend Chelsea, it can be a winter boot with high traction rubber soles and cozy fleece lining, ensuring your feet stay warm in the coldest of conditions. Comes in 10 different colors for men. Always a pair to match with your outfit. Plus, they have great raincoats, bags, all different types of sneakers as well. We love Vessi. You will too. If you are the type of person who wants to have a shoe that you can really rely on in all different types of activities and settings, Vessi is the shoe for you. Take your next step toward a better you with Vessi. Start strong with Vessi shoes at vessi.com/VIALL to embrace every rainy day and enjoy an instant 15% off your first purchase at checkout. Oh, my skin is glowing today, and that is thanks to the good people at OneSkin. Listen, we're not getting any younger. Literally every day that goes by, you are that much older. And we all want to look our best self and look our youngest. Let's be real, people. And the good people at OneSkin are making that possible. Because let's talk about peptides for a minute. Just because something says peptide on a label doesn't mean it's actually going to do anything for you. But at OneSkin, their OS01 peptide is different. After testing the efficacy of more than 900 so-called anti-aging peptides, OneSkin developed the OS1 peptide, the first ingredient to reverse the skin's biological age by reducing the accumulation of senescent cells, a key driver of skin aging. OS1 works at the cellular level to improve key aging biomarkers while reducing the visible signs of aging, including lines, wrinkles, and saggy skin. OneSkin believes the purpose of skincare is not just to improve how you look, but optimize your skin's biology at the cellular level so it's more resilient to the aging process. Founded and led by an all-women team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code VIALL at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code VIALL. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in your health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing and opening up about that. And, I was just curious too. Obviously, we're very excited to just be sitting here with you and talking with you and having you open up with us. But like, you're also not someone who does this a lot and gives a lot of interviews. And, I was just kind of curious, like, why now in terms of, kind of your willingness to share a little bit more about yourself and open up. And, we are very appreciative of that and excited to keep talking to you. But, I think it's not lost with a lot of your fans, just how much you cherish your privacy and are reluctant to open up and share things like that.
That's a great question. I think I have been an open book since I was 18 for so long, and it felt really mean and kind of evil when people would use those things against me and blame me for them. I've even when I had a face full of acne and I wouldn't wear makeup and I was popping it on Snapchat and kind of going through the whole process and really trying to like be open about who I was. It was always like, oh, she has to be on heroin because look at her skin, it's so bad. Like, will she, wash her face? She should try soap, kind of things. And like actual like articles writing that, not even just comments, like articles writing that kind of language. And when I, came out about being molested growing up, I think that was another thing that really hurt when people used it against me to almost speak badly on my character of who I am now as a woman because this thing had happened to me. And when I had to put out my own nudes because I was being fucking threatened, and then, you know, Whoopi Goldberg and
Yeah.
said that I had essentially kind of deserved it in some way because I had sent the photo in the first place, that I had even taken the photo,
I
and
think
you
she
should
like
be
flat out said
Yeah.
it was your fault.
Yeah,
Like,
and I obviously got very upset because that was such a hard thing for me to do. And I remember I was on my book tour and I was about to do an interview and I was reading those texts and I literally asked my manager, I was like, what the fuck do I do here? And I was like at this point, like it's just so embarrassing. He's gonna take it from me. He's gonna take these parts of my body, and somebody's already done this once to me. So I don't want them to do that again. And so then it was like, well, if I do it, then it's my decision and it's not yours, even though it kind of still is your decision because I'm only doing it because of you, bitch. And so, but at least it's mine. It's my stamp on it. And people saying that I like was faking that to put it to like get attention, that I just wanted to like put out my body in that way and do this and fake this thing. And that fucking hurt again. I was just like these are really personal, seriously, deeply rooted like issues and things I've gone through, and to have it thrown up in your face so much of like, you deserve it and this is what you are and you're that kind of woman. That's what you deserve. All of this was so hard at like fucking 2019 to like mentally go through. And I think some people think I'm like still the old me, like the crazy rebellious Bella. And you're like, are you not fucking are you fucking what is happening here? Do you not see what I was going through at those times? What other way would any normal person react? Like, I'm still a teenager in some ways, and it was just really, yeah, shitty. And so I felt like I could not be honest anymore. Why would I be honest with you when all you do is throw it back in my face and blame me for it and call me disgusting for it? Thank God I also got to work with the FBI and put this son of a bitch away. And he did go away, and now he's sitting in there for like 8 years. So, and he did it to all these other people as well. So when the FBI saw that post, they immediately reached out and was like, this is the same exact language. We know this guy has done it before and we have these other things, and worked with me to like put him away. I had to like write the statements as well for the judge, and I had to go through that process again to write those statements. And in my heart, when they asked me to write it, I was like, is this going to come out? And they were like, well, what do you mean? I was like, what if people post this statement? Like, again, they're going to take my words and how I feel and what this man took from me, and they're gonna like fiend off of that, and that's fucking disgusting. So that was like so scary, and I think I just decided, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not giving y'all nothing. When you act like that, why should I? And yeah, so I think I was just like, nope. And now like I don't want to not be myself, because that's only doing myself a disservice. And then everything that I go against, they've won. So it's like either way, I feel like sometimes I'm in a lose-lose battle. I'm sure this interview will be even thrown up in my face, like, oh well, she and this, and oh, crocodile tears, or oh, she deserved it, oh, she's too sexual, look at her, like, it's like it's just so shitty to hear every day all the time, I think. So I've been like, beep, I'll just not speak. But I don't think it's fair to teach people not to speak because you're afraid of speaking and getting ridiculed. That doesn't seem like a win.
we're releasing an episode by the time this comes out. And we're a little nervous about it. Natalie had a miscarriage a couple
Oh my
weeks.
God.
Yeah. But just hearing you speak, it's like um, yeah, it was tough, but like we didn't know what to do. It was like we wanted to share our experience. We do this for a living. And it was kind of like therapeutic for us just
Mhm.
to, we're just going to talk about it. And we decided to put it out there knowing that like, our intention obviously was one, we wanted to memorialize our child and like, hearing you talk
Yeah.
about your dad, like you don't want to forget, and like when you don't have a chance to meet your baby, it's harder to connect, as a
Mhm.
dad, and it's even harder. And so, and obviously we've heard a lot of stories about it. And then so we wanted to share knowing that like a lot of people, it's like they feel very alone when it happens because no
Yep.
one really, everyone's like, sorry it happened, but like, oh, anyway, it's like, it's like an awkward thing that's like they don't really relate to it. But, we know I'm offline,
Mhm.
because like I don't really give a shit what people say. And I've gotten much better. And like when I'm curious, I wanted to ask you is because you're right. Like the internet's an asshole.
Mhm.
People are assholes. Hurt people hurt people. You've heard
Yeah.
that phrase. And that's just never going to go away. All we can do as humans or people or just anyone in the public eye or just hell, anyone who's like has a phone,
Yeah.
is like get better at just like removing yourself and not listening to the noise and the disruption and just feeling good about like whatever it is you put out. And I'm curious, like, have you gotten better at that? Just like, like feeling good about whatever it is you're putting out there as a creator, as an artist, and just say, fuck it, like your opinions, whoever you are, it's none of my goddamn business because like, they're
Yeah.
always going to be assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on the creative side, yes. I'm about to go direct a movie that I wrote that's based on a true story. It's so important. I've put, blood, sweat, and tears, and so has everybody else. And that I think is like one of the things that I'll first really be so happy about. And on the other side, man, I just decided to escape social media on the Instagrams and the Twitters. I was like, fuck all these little tweets. At some point, you can't read your own shit because you're like, oh, I'm going to see one thing. And instead of focusing on all the amazing comments, you're going to focus on this
Yeah.
one thing. And if they really poked you somewhere where you were sensitive, boom, they've got you for the rest of the day. And somebody that I don't even know is offending me. The audacity is how I feel. So I liked when Instagram was, when it first started, and you would post a photo of your foot and like your random food and like weird selfie. And it became this my resume. Here's how, whatever you think of me, here it is. Right
Yeah.
here. What do you think of me? Judge me now, and move on to the next person to judge them, and then go same thing. Just
Mhm.
keeps on going, and I'm just so over it. I'm quirky, I'm ridiculous. I think I also stopped being myself in interviews, in social media as well. I'm quite a quirky person. I do a lot of different voices. I like hop in and out. I'm very sarcastic, and I think a part of me kind of like that part of me kind of died. And people were wondering like, where is that part? Was that still you? And I would always get judged for it, like, oh, she crazy, like, and that kind of stuff. When you're just a silly person, people like scrolling like this,
Mhm.
like, oh, she looks bad. Boom. Oh,
Mhm.
oh, I didn't like that. Like, why'd she do that? Like, that's not, I don't care to engage with those people anymore because I'm so sick of asking for you to like me. So I'm so sick of that. I'm not going to do it anymore. And
Good for
that's how
you.
I feel.
That's great. I mean, that's the best you can do.
I like was kind of the same way you were, of just like, why am I allowing strangers to like comment under my
Judge you.
posts of my family, of my
Mhm.
life? Like, why would I do so? I have had on the like restrictions of just people that I allow to like comment stuff, because it's like, why would I give this random fucking person the like opportunity to put their opinion?
Exactly. You're not in high
Or
school
I'll see
anymore.
it. Yeah, it's
You
like I
explain
don't
to
have
those
to.
girls.
Exactly,
Like,
I don't have to read
why am I
that
gonna do
shit.
this
Like
now?
you don't deserve the right to comment under my shit.
Yeah.
Like, go get a fucking life. But I want to like going back to all of these things that you had to endure in your life. I think we have a very similar childhood,
Mm,
and I went through a lot of similar things that you did.
sorry to hear that.
And I think when you go through that at a really young age, you have a weird relationship with your body.
Mhm.
And so I think that is probably why, like, the extra sting of this boyfriend at the time trying to
Mhm.
like release all of these nudes of you.
No, not a boyfriend. An actual like what's it called?
a hacker?
A hacker. Yes, not a boyfriend.
Oh,
no,
fuck.
a hacker. This piece
Someone
of shit.
hacked into your
Yes.
shit. Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. But I just want to say, like, you sharing that side of you, I know you see, like, the people being like, the terrible things that people say. But when I tell you, like, sitting beside you as someone who went through something similar, to hear that, like, I'm not alone. I didn't go through it alone. I don't have to go through it alone. That people like you will talk about your experience and you will see like you on the other side of things is so inspirational. And it's like something for us to hold on to and to be like, there's hope, you know, like I won't be this person who's stuck in my 10-year-old body and reliving things that happened to me over and over again. You know, like look at this person. This person is beautiful, successful, creative, like and I think you're giving people hope and light. And I just want to like thank you for being so open and honest about the things that you've been through because it's not easy. And like it's a very alone feeling. And I'm so sorry you went through all of that. And I think that surviving it is like, you know, people would say all the time, like, oh, well, you were like this victim of sexual assault. And it's like, I definitely was a victim, but like I fucking survived it. And like I'm here and it's like, it's made me this resilient, strong fucking person. And like now I wouldn't let a man like, I feel like that gave, like going through that gave me the strength to be like, fuck you and fuck off. And like, I'm not this like naive little girl anymore who just like, trusted anyone and everyone, you know. I feel like it just really gave me that strength, and you being able to talk about it is just like, I think it's giving people more hope than tearing people, you know, like the people who want to tear you down.
Well, thank you so much for that. I was going to say the same to you for you, what happened to you guys, and that you're being so brave and sharing it. And I think that that is going to help so many people, and especially in the political climate that we're in, is so important to share your piece and your journey with it. And I think that that will be really heartwarming for a lot of people that have been through it and will feel like, thank God,
I hope so.
somebody's making me
yeah.
feel
We'll see.
seen and heard.
Yeah. It's a fucking alone feeling to go through the things that we, you know, have gone through. And so it is, I think, to like hear other people talk about their experiences, because it's not something you want to talk about. You know, you don't want to go publicly, and you don't want to, like, the people in my life who had no idea. It's like now they do. And now that's like a, you know, I didn't ever want all these people to know that about my life. But like, I know that me talking about this miscarriage, it's like, I know that there's so many women who go through that who are like, what the fuck? Like, am I the only you know, and they want something to connect to. And so I think like all of us being able to just talk about vulnerabilities and the stuff that we go through in life is really important. And so I'm just like really proud of you.
Did you ever get a sincere apology from Whoopi?
I think I'll next that question.
Right.
Yeah. There was a video sent from backstage. Yes, there was a video sent.
Oh,
yes.
like a cameo.
Interesting.
Okay. Right.
You're like, and the next question.
You're engaged. How's that going? Let's weird transition. You're engaged. No, but obviously we love talking about relationships and love, and you know, shit, I got so many exes and stories and things like that, but like, you know, it all came to like me being able to meet my wife, you know, all the crazy, you know, heartbreaks and stories, and some of it has been on TV and some of it's not, but you know, you're very happily engaged now, and like, how do you feel like what you have with your fiance, how has that shaped you, and what do you love best about your relationship with him?
One of the things I love best is that we're always quite silly with one another, and that we're always able to make kind of a dark joke out of a dark situation that we might be in life, you know. And I think that we really connect in our humor and our silliness. I also love the way that he takes care of me. I always feel very safe. And that's a really hard thing, I think, for anybody to feel, especially women. It's like everywhere you look, there's just been murder everywhere.
Mhm.
And not that your partner has to give that to you, because that's a very hard thing to give. You can't just make somebody feel safe. Like it's not just about what you're doing and what you're saying, it's about everything all at the same
Yeah.
time. And yeah, I don't think I've ever felt safe with anybody that I've been with, actually. I felt more times that I had to make them feel safe in some situations, and that not great. So I really love that he's able to do that quite effortlessly with me.
I love that you say that. I mean, Natalie and I say that to each other all the time. It's
Mm.
and I
Yes.
think clearly I think what I've learned from my wife and my audience, that safety is probably the number one thing women are looking for. It's also, I think, something men really appreciate too, that they don't talk about too. It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, what is a serious relationship or a marriage, an engagement, if not to like have someone in your life that you can actually truly be yourself and be safe and be that vulnerable person. And I think, yeah, when I was younger, like I've been in love and I had great girlfriends, but like I was like, I don't know, it's like, at times I felt loved, but like I also felt like we competed, I
Mhm.
felt like we were at each other's throats, I felt judged,
Mhm.
or I felt like ashamed to say something or do something. And yeah, it's nice to be able to find someone where you can open up and you can make each other feel safe. And like you
Yeah.
said, it's not something that comes very easily, and that's something that happens over time. And it doesn't mean you don't have ups and downs and work through
Yeah.
your own shit, but like there's I think with Nally and I, I'm curious if this is something that you relate to, but like I feel like we both like give a shit about our relationship. Like we
Mhm.
wake up every day and like I feel her effort
Yeah,
to
you both
make us
try.
work
Mhm.
as much as I feel like I'm putting in the effort,
Mhm.
And I think that's a very unique feeling in a relationship that a lot of people just kind of take for granted. Like when you're younger, it was just more like, oh my God, like we're made for each other. And like
Mhm.
you meet and the first month's awesome. And you like plan out the next 10 years of your life. And then like you just like start dating and hating each other. But like, yeah, we're very, like when we feel a disconnect, like we're very quick to like someone points that out,
Mhm.
and that's something that I've never had in a relationship. And again, it
Yeah,
doesn't
where
mean
then when you do it like that, you
yeah,
don't let it get out of hand
yeah.
for too long.
And,
And then you have
listen, like,
more built up
yeah.
feelings.
And then
And you're like,
explode,
yeah,
and then yeah.
exactly.
And like
Yeah.
every relationship, we have our shit, we work through shit,
Did
but
you
like,
see
yeah.
that thing going around on Instagram that's like, you're in a really great relationship if you're able to fart in front of your partner? Do you guys fart in front of each other?
Nick definitely does. I don't.
I
But
never.
he would
Girls are
never.
somehow not allowed to fart for some reason.
She's lying. I've never farted. I've never admitted to farting.
He doesn't. He never admits to it. It's always like, what? I didn't. Huh? What happened? It's he will never admit to it. He's just like not a fan of bathroom talk. Like he's not.
It's a me thing.
It's yeah. He's
like
like
I know everyone boobs. I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to pretend that doesn't happen, but we don't have to embrace it. Like some
Mhm.
people really.
Do you and Mark share, like, do you have toilets that sit in front of each other and like you both?
Like Meghan Trainor?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Meghan
No, we have
Trainor.
one toilet that we both use when the other person's not in the room.
Okay.
I am quite bathroom shy and I put on the tap.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Or I mostly play music out of my phone. So I'll
Really
always
loud,
bring my
yeah.
phone and I just start blasting rap music. And I think then he knows it's time.
Maybe don't enter the room.
Yeah, I like
I'm like,
that.
"Rap
See,
me, Mom."
it's like but you
Yeah.
don't need
You
to
don't need
announce
this,
it. And
right?
you don't need to know.
Yeah. You can
You
just
know.
know subconsciously, but you don't need to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. You're like, that's my speed,
So we think the
Bella.
Instagram study's wrong then? Is that what we're saying?
It's got to be. I feel like it's more. Who was talking about this? Maybe it was like I saw a clip of Alex Earl talking about how she was like, we don't even like pee in front of each other.
That's crazy.
Because like it will kill the sex.
No, that's
Like
crazy.
we won't be.
Or will it make the
If
sex
you know,
more gay?
or you just squirting left and right. Yeah, so I was like, well, that's extreme, but that's also, you know, I don't know.
See, that's
maybe
nuts.
some people
That's nuts.
feel it will kill the sex
What do you mean
drive
not
if you
in front of each other? Like, as in they have to leave the entirety of the bathroom if you
like,
are
what
going
are you
to the
doing if
bathroom?
you're in a hotel? You know, it's like go down to the lobby, have to pee.
Right. Is that what she means?
I guess.
I think so.
Oh, come on. Every time? Man,
Yeah,
I would
listen,
get a
I think
bladder
that's
infection.
if that's true.
Yeah, I got a
If that's true,
UTI already.
he's so, you know, like when you're a kid, you know, it's like, oh, go pee in the woods or something. It's not a big deal. Like no kid is like taking a shit. Like,
I don't know that we were
Oh,
peeing
yeah,
in the woods. That wasn't
being in
the
the
go-to.
woods.
Maybe as
I'm quite
boys, I don't know.
still scared when it comes to camping and whatnot to pee. I have this phobia that a spider or a snake will come up
do you
and
camp often?
and hurt me down there and hurt me bad.
No, that's a fear.
and forever scar me for the rest of my life.
No, that is for sure scary.
Do you camp?
Yes, I have done quite a bit of camping.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Do you
love
have
trees. I love the
do you
outdoors.
have the shiwi?
The what?
Shiwi.
The hoo-ha?
It's like you can like stand up and pee, I believe, for women. Give me an image. Shiwi images. Yep.
No. It's a funnel.
Shiwi.
Oh,
Shiwi.
I'm kind of digging that.
Right? No spiders climbing up your hoo-ha.
Is that for camping?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
But then when what's the next step? After that step happens, what's the next step when you still have the shiwi?
It's a funnel, so it comes
Right.
out like a min.
But then it's still contaminated
Do you clean
with
it? Yeah, how do you clean it?
urine.
Oh.
Where you're in the woods, you got the shiwi, it's done.
I feel like you stick it in the ground, right?
Oh!
And you would just pick it up if you need it again. Am I right? It's like a little stake in the ground.
Wash it when you leave?
And then when you leave,
Horrible.
you wash it.
I mean, you are camping. You're going to get dirty.
But then, I guess the dirt's not technically near I just don't like dirt anywhere in any,
Crevice.
near any sort of circumstance.
How do you feel about sand? Are you the same with sand?
Oh,
like
yeah.
you don't
Sand in the
Yeah.
charcuterie is not cool.
the charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Sand in the charcuterie is not chill.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't eat charcuterie with sand, now would you?
No, I would not.
Neither would I.
Brooklinen. I often talk about the eighth wonder of the world, and it's Brooklinen. I mean, listen, if you can find the most comfortable sheets and towels and linens out there at a price that will blow your mind, it's got to be a miracle, but it's real true, and it's all at Brooklinen. I have been a Brooklinen customer for 6-7 years now, and the reason why I keep being a Brooklinen customer because they keep delivering on the best possible products. First, their sheets are top-notch. They're incredibly comfortable. They look great. They all come in all different patterns to go with your aesthetic. Their duvet comforters are great for any climate, whether you sleep hot or you sleep cold. Everything they have, towels, hand towels, and so much more are top-notch and will look great around your house. Brooklinen's super high-quality products have been tested and also are winning a bunch of awards, including Good Housekeeping, GQ, and Wirecutter, and more. Plus, Brooklinen has customizable bundles, making it easy to refresh your bed and bathroom by putting everything you need in just one place. So, go to brooklinen.com, check out their great assortment of products. Also, maybe if you're in the area, whether you're in Brooklyn or maybe in Santa Monica, check out one of their stores for all of their great selections. Shop award-winning and fan favorites in store or online at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com to get 15% off your first order today. With so many wellness products on the market today, it's hard to know what actually works. Finding a clean supplement company can be hard, but look no further than Ritual. Running a business can be very stressful at times. That's where Ritual's stress relief comes in handy for daily cortisol management that helps the body manage stress. Formulated with clean, high-quality key ingredients in their bioavailable form, there are vegan, non-GMO, gluten, and major allergen-free. Mom founded, made traceable. Ritual shares the sources and suppliers behind their key ingredients so you know exactly what you're putting in your body and why. It's also third-party tested for heavy metals and microbes. No one wants that in their body. Ritual is a subscription, so you do not have to remember to reorder your supplements. It's automatically delivered to your door monthly, which helps you stay consistent. For multivitamins and Symbiotic Plus, designed with a delayed release capsule that's meant to be gentle on the empty stomach, so you can take without food or with it any time of the day. Start a ritual that's backed by science without the BS. Ritual is offering 25% off your first month at ritual.com/VIALL. That's ritual.com/VIALL for 25% off. On this show, my audience is fascinated with alternative relationships. Is this a rumor? Is it true? Were you and Tana in a throuple, or was that just a rumor?
No, we were not in a throuple.
Okay.
No, we were definitely
Rumor squash.
dating, and then she would be dating other people, and I was dating a person at that time. And
so it's open.
Yeah. Open, I would say, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's also
But we all did hang out together. It was and I think that freaked people out that we were that it wasn't like, oh, you brought around this other person you're dating. No, we all hanging out together in the studio together, doing whatever together. And I think that made people go, oh. And then
that's like a mini open.
The guy that I was dating at that time, then he like ran with it and wanted to be like he like publicly ran with it and wanted to, I got these two baddies. Sir,
it just sounds like a guy who's in like two different situationships with two girls, and you all like are chill about
it. No, yeah, she had different. Yeah, I had mostly dated one person, but I think she dated another girl and then men. Yeah, I think everybody was having fun. Okay. You know, we were at a having fun time.
Hookup culture.
In your 18, 19 years, you know, when you're just experiencing everything and everything is alive and. Yeah. Ooh, glad I'm not back there again.
Have you and Mark set a date?
We have not set a date. We are making our first baby, our movie baby. Okay. And yes, once we are done with that and through editing, so everything, because that's just not a moment you rush, you know, and it's not a moment to be, it's already going to be stressful. And I'm already quite by the book on things, being on time, doing things, being, you know. And so I will be a bridezilla. I know myself, and I will definitely be like, those flowers are not right. I swear to God.
No, you think so?
Are you thinking
that's me
big wedding, small wedding, elope? Like you think you're going to go fairly big?
Well, because we already have a wedding planner and whatnot, and we have the venues. So I think when we had gone through that process, and I saw Mark's guest list, it was, you know, he's quite a bit older than me, so he's had more time to make more friends.
We do.
Yeah, we
love an age gap. How old is he?
He is 43.
Weird. Well, how old are you?
Yeah, 27.
Oh my God.
Oh, we beat you guys.
Yeah, we beat you
yes?
guys.
By 1 year, 1.5 years? Yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We got to do a double date.
We got to do a double date.
We can talk about movies we watched when we were growing up. It'll be great. You know?
Yes.
We can talk about how like young and hot we are. They can talk about their 1980s movies and stuff.
Yeah, there are. The unfortunate thing with the older movies is that even though the movie itself is remastered, their trailers aren't remastered. And so every time we're watching the trailer and I'm marking my ear, but it's going to be much better than this, babe, because it's not going to be like this, you know, it's not, I'm like, okay, because I can barely see the screen at this point. It's so blurry.
Very grainy.
I made her watch Far and Away the other day with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. I thought she'd like it. You haven't seen it?
It was awful.
I'm shocked you didn't like it.
What was that other movie you made me watch? The dad.
Oh, Meet Joe Black. I love that movie. She hates it.
Meet Joe Black.
Have you seen Mulholland Drive?
No.
You haven't seen it either?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Really takes you on a roller coaster ride.
Oh, you hated it. Mark made you watch it.
I love David Lynch, and actually, I love the same tones he loves. I love the same cameras. The dissolves. There's so much that I have already naturally so loved, and seeing it in his work, I'm like, oh. Because I'm a big David Lynch fan. I love him. And R.I.P. So sad that he just passed away. Yeah.
Like, other than movies, do you watch any reality TV? What? Oh, really?
I finally got him on the Real Housewives of Potomac.
We haven't gotten into that one.
We are like stuck on Salt Lake City. Are
you caught up?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
What about the next reunion? I mean, the ladies are going at each other.
Where do you stand on Lisa Barlow? Or are you a Lisa girl? Or are you like a Bronwyn Whitney girl?
Ooh, well, I'm loving the tequila company.
Sure.
We'll
Vida
start with
tequila.
that.
Okay.
Vida tequila. Not that I drink tequila, but get it, girl. And I think sometimes Lisa doesn't have. Well, we all know she doesn't like to say sorry, and that just can. Yeah, I think that just comes back and bites her in the Bronwyn situation. I can imagine that that's incredibly difficult what they're going through, her family with Gwen, and my heart really goes out, and I think that any way to deal with that situation besides I love you, I'm sorry, I'm here for you, I'm sorry, I love
Mhm.
you, I'm sorry, I'm here for you, any other wording besides that
It's crazy.
is I think is just unhelpful. Even if
Yeah.
you're trying to be helpful, it's not helpful. You cannot hear these things because it's such a painful, sacred place to
Yeah.
be commenting on.
It's like what I love and hate about Housewives all at the same time is like so many of the biggest fights can just be handled exactly how you just described, which is like, babe, not my best moment.
Mhm.
I definitely didn't mean it that way. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And like instead, it's like every fucking other excuse in the book. Like, well, a blogger fucking told me that you did this, and like I would, you know.
But it would be boring if they
I
were all
know, but,
like,
like, it's
"Love you,
Meredith.
sorry."
I love the way she
You
speaks.
do?
I love her accent. I think it's really funny. And yeah,
You should ask.
I like her.
Mary
I like
on
that
our team.
sometimes she's just like, I am done with this.
No,
No,
and when she
Meredith,
gets upset,
when
it's
Meredith
shaking
loses her
upset.
mind, it's
Yeah.
the best because it's like she might pop. It's,
Yeah.
it's absolutely.
And I love Mary.
Mary's-
I've become very fond of Mary. I wasn't
Mary's-
so sure, but and with her opening up and
She's
whatnot,
she's
I very
awesome.
much appreciated that as a viewer.
Yes, I thought.
Angie K.
Love Angie
Love.
K.
Angie K.
Yeah.
Love Angie K.
She's
I'm
iconic,
I'm
right?
obsessed with
She's
Mary.
just iconic.
Yeah.
Everything she's high body count hair was like, I mean, that was the craziest
Yeah.
thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, they were when you go back and forth with somebody, I mean, I really do feel that the other woman, in my personal opinion, did start it
She
first, though,
100%
because
did.
said
She
that
showed
thing.
up 100%.
So it's like, oh,
And she wouldn't-
don't
and
dish it
she-
out if you can't take it.
And Brittany will not admit to anything. She will not, like, if
Yeah.
she would just be like, yeah, I did say that. My bad. But then Bronwyn had to be
film.
like, you did, Brittany. You did. You said it to me,
Yeah,
Brittany.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did.
Thank you, Bronwyn, for saying what happened there.
Do you think Brittany deserves a snowflake?
Let's see. I'm not sure we really got to know Brittany so much this season.
I mean, she,
I think we got to know more about her relationship
yeah, but she's so.
than.
She gives the drama.
You think she keeps the drama? Really?
I will be very sad if she has a lesser role next season. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
more.
I would be sad too. I want them to make her like so that we can actually get to know her.
Yeah.
The what
because
about
we're not getting to
me's are so good at the tables. And the like, I have an announcement.
The I have an announcement stuff. Is
I
very...
finally need to be honest with you guys.
We had
when
sex.
they did the mean text. Okay,
Oh,
but
and
how
she was
about
just like-
Lisa and Meredith both didn't have to do any mean text. They both coincidentally left the table right before they
Lisa
had to.
pretended lied about her worst thing ever, and then Meredith, being the lawyer that she is, like faked, got up and stormed off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
none of this is okay.
But what about when Brittany was like, okay, I have one.
Yeah.
and hers was like so.
I'd
shouldn't
rather
even,
invite Bronwyn over married for tea or something.
Yeah.
Mary was like, I agree. You should invite Bronwyn over me.
And I love Mary and Angie K's relationship
Yeah.
that they have developed. I think that is like a very sacred, and I feel like a lot of pain from Mary's past, and to see her immediately go at Angie for feeling like for a moment that this wasn't going to be the friendship she thought. And I love that they two did work through it, and immediately, the hand holding and the tears.
No,
And
I
I'm like,
think
"She's just in
Mary's
pain."
so real. I think Whitney's real. I think Angie K's real. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes Lisa, like, great TV. I would very much miss her if for some reason she left. But like I would love her to be more.
You
Yeah.
can be wrong. We're all wrong. We're
Yeah.
all human. We
Yeah.
all make mistakes. You can say something you shouldn't have said, done something you shouldn't have done. Like, it is literally just us. It's what it's our makeup,
And-
it's
Yeah.
inherent. So you can say sorry
Yeah,
and be done with
totally.
it.
They seem to struggle
You have
with
to
it.
watch Potomac. You need
Every-
to watch
I know.
Potomac.
You're
It's so good.
one of many people who have told
Is
us
it
that.
almost over? Where are we at?
It's
in the
already
season?
ended. This
Oh, it's
is
done.
Karen Hooger, the Grand Dame, who got arrested for the DUI.
Yeah,
Oh,
but she's
yeah.
in like rehab.
She's in rehab now, yeah. But she was found guilty.
So maybe we'll pick up next season. We'll
But
start
wait,
next
are
season.
you saying like it's done as in they've canceled the show?
No.
No, for the season.
Oh, thank God.
Did they?
I was
have
like,
they done
dude,
reunion?
I'm on like season
You're one of many
7 or
people-
8, so I only have that 1/9, and then I'm
Yeah.
done. I was about to be so upset if you told me that it was actually done.
You're one of many people have said we need to start watching Potomac.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It might
and why
still
haven't
be
you
airing.
done it yet?
Okay.
We're just like we have a long
Yeah.
list of shows
We
we're watching.
recap
We're
so
just
many
we have every
shows.
intention of getting.
What about
this
into it.
show.
Temptation Island?
Oh my God, we have not
We haven't done that.
dive. What?
What?
It's been
Okay,
Love
so they
Island.
take real
Yeah, yeah, I know.
relationships that they've been in. Everybody's at some type of crossroads. And these people are together a long time. And they come to this island and they separate them in a house of singles. And then each week at a luxurious bonfire in the middle of the woods, they do a like 30 seconds that you can see your other partner, what he's or she is doing on that part of the island. You get 30 seconds and they tell you,
like
we're
movie
not
night on Love
explaining
Island.
before this
Oh,
clip or
yeah.
after.
It's crazy.
One person, he had a full-on threesome. I think it's in the first season, and he cheated on her with a full-on threesome in the shower. She had to watch it. I was like, this is mental warfare. Like, this is so upsetting that you actually had to physically watch somebody you've been with 9 years do that to you. I was like,
9 years they were together.
this is horrible, and I'm hooked.
And give me more.
Because like Temptation Island season 1 was like when I was in college, and it's the same host.
Really?
Yeah. He's so funny.
And they brought him. And they
Mark.
brought it. Yeah, Mark. What's his name?
He has a fame like
It's
he
like-
sounds like somebody. It's like Mark Wahlberg. He's Mark Wahlberg. No,
No.
I think it actually is Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, you're right. It is. His name's Mark. Yeah.
and every time I see it, Mark Wahlberg.
It's Mark Wahlberg, but not Mark.
no, it's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
It literally is.
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Why hasn't it like what? Yeah. We haven't got it. Like hasn't gone me. What's it on? CW?
No, it is Frisky. You want to see Frisky? Oh my God, have you seen Baddies?
No.
Baddies shot o'clock. Come on, guys, Baddies shot
What
Oh,
o'clock.
you just need to come back and recap
Baddies.
with us sometimes.
Yes.
Just to, like, shoot-
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I think we should start a group text with us four, with Mark as well,
Yes.
and that we should constantly be putting just like the only thing that the group text is for is just movies and TV recommendations.
So is he into reality TV with you? Like, have you gotten him to sit
I've
down
gotten
and watch
him into
it?
Potomac.
Okay.
He didn't like the other ones. In fact, I think they a little bit drove him crazy, and he would sit through 2. But once you get to 6 in a night, I think that his
He was
brain
done.
it can no longer. The baddies
weird.
though, he will watch some episodes. It's a lot of yelling.
Is it like Bad Girls Club?
Natalie Nunn took the idea of Bad Girls Club and made her own baddies with Zeus Network, Lemmy Plummer, and good for him making this network pop off. It's just like it's so hard to do this in general, and he did it. So good for you, good for everybody that was involved. I think Ray J, actually King Batch, who I'm friends with, was also involved in the earlier part of Zeus, and yeah, she went and she she a CEO, she a queen.
my
No, seriously, she
God.
is actually a full-on baddie. I love Tinkerbella. When you do watch it, if you go to the Caribbean season, she's introduced, and she's a baddie. I mean, everybody, they are standing on business, and and I love that term. I love that term. Like, it's kind of, I think, another way, in my opinion, of saying like I'm a man of my word. I don't personally love that term.
Yeah.
So I love standing on business. Like, if you mean what you say and stand on it, stick to it. Like, do not be flip-flopping over and around like a fucking fish. It's not cool. So yeah, I dig that. That's my real
business.
obsession. And yesterday, I waited up all night and they put that episode on, and then you clicked it and the episode was gone. And I stalked every Instagram. I stalked everybody's Instagram to see, and everybody was also losing their minds. All the comments were losing their minds. Where is the new
What
episode?
did you do?
How could you do this? I checked today and it's back.
Oh, thank God.
It's back.
I was told there's a story about 3 rings or 3 engagement rings. Is that am I?
Yes. Yes.
What is the one that is about to knock me the fuck out currently on your finger
Yeah.
right now? Which one is that?
This is the final one.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. This
I
is.
thought I crushed it.
You did crush it.
I mean,
Are you
sure.
kidding?
Like,
Look at that chunky bad boy.
cute little
Nom, nom,
friend.
nom, nom, nom,
Sorry,
nom,
yeah,
nom,
no,
nom.
cute.
It's
Like,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's like
So,
a
like-
nice sidekick. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. The original one that he got me, I loved it, but he, I guess, knows me so well that somewhere deep down in there, some part of me was like, this isn't for me. But I loved it. And he was like, no, we're going to change it. And I was like, no, don't change it. It's the one you picked. Like, what do you? And he was like, no, I know you don't like it. And I was like, I'm telling you, I love it, baby. He's like, I know. I saw your face. I saw it in your eyes, and we're changing it. And then the next one wasn't right as well. So he just kind of kept having me try Rings On for like 3 weeks. And yeah, then we got this one.
What was your
made.
face when you saw that one?
Yeah, well, it was a version of this, but all the way to the finger. And I love Tiffany's martini glass. I think that's super beautiful.
Mhm.
And I wanted to double Tiffany's martini glass. So this is a
Obviously.
double martini
Okay,
glass
there you
that
go.
sits on that the stone sits on. So that's why it's like so high above on my. I love
No,
seeing that
it's-
space.
yeah.
It's which is so cool. It's such a cool design, right? I'm
Hey,
like,
I can like see you through it.
it. But it gets a lot more dirty because you have so much space. So oils,
like
and
lotions and stuff.
yeah, I
get
never take it
everywhere.
off.
Yeah.
So like I never take it off. Only maybe like if I'm playing a role, obviously. But
You sleep in it?
oh, of
You shower in
course.
it?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. And then I popped out a stone, and now because which I'm getting fixed, and when I'm showering, I'm like ripping my face up because
my-
it's like rough, but I refuse still to take it off. I'm that kind of girl. Who is just like, even when you know you could make something easier on yourself,
Yep.
but you're too lazy to change it.
Yep.
Like you're like, no, I'm still gonna do this. That's me.
love that about you.
What do you think's next for you and Mark and your future? And like, I guess, what are your? It sounds so like a interview question, like you're interviewing for a job, but like, how do you see life unfolding for you in the next kind of chapter of your life?
Hopefully happiness. Let's start with that. Always happiness. And getting closer, really learning more about each other and whatnot and each other's families. I'm a very family oriented person, so it's very important to me, and definitely when the time as well that we might have a family, I think it's really important to get that a bit more of a stable ground, you could say. And yeah, we're doing our first movie together. We've raised all the finance together, and we've really, I would say, like, usually I think a huge testament is working together. I would like to, as I said, my father say, a Thorne empire one day. And if I'm gonna have a partner, and especially for life, I want a partner that I can really work with, because I love working, and it's one of the things that make me the literal happiness in life. And so getting through this process with them, and never not once, knock on wood, wanting to rip each other's hair out, I think has been such a beautiful experience. There's been so many times where, in the movie industry, and you sign a contract, and then this and then that, and then oh, that falls through, and this thing, and you're on this emotional roller coaster. And I would say over the last year of making this movie, and we shoot it coming up, so I'm talking about making it in the other sense of getting it together, there's been so many tears. There's been a lot of moments where I just was like, why, why, and this is so important to me, and it's become so important to him. And that's so beautiful that he's like taken that on with me, because he didn't have to. He's a producer, yes, but this is like a very specific thing, and I think it's just so endearing, and it brought us really close.
I mean, I started the show long before Nana and I met, and when I met her, she was a surgical technician, and I never envisioned like being able to work with her. But like now that we are, it's like it really is like
It's awesome, right?
it's like you feel like very lucky. You feel more like a team,
Mhm.
and like like you said, knock on wood, but like we hopefully do a good job or of not getting sick of each other, even though we spend all our time together. But like, yeah, it really helps you feel more connected and to like, just, she's always the first person I go to if I want to run something by an idea by her, and just to know it's like her. It's like, it's just a great feeling. And
Yeah.
I think very few couples are, even very few happy couples and successful couples aren't able to work with their partner like you and Mark, and like I get to do with Natalie. And it's I feel very lucky, and I can
Yeah.
hear it when you describe that with relationship with Mark. It's a very cool thing.
Yeah, I do feel very lucky as well. I can't really imagine it any other way except for in the past when it hasn't gone well.
Yeah. It's like, what it's like
with
when it
other
doesn't go
partners.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's really beautiful that you guys also get to do that together, because it really, man, talk about going from having an okay day to an amazing day. And even when you're having a really shitty day, how important it is that your partner is there and can, you're not always able to give 50-50 in a relationship, and sometimes you can only give 15 and the other person has to make up the rest. And I think that that's so beautiful when that does happen, and I feel like it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And especially when working, when you're so stressed out and whatnot. And so it's really great that you guys have each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to like go, I mean, you're going through it together. So like you're both, it's not like you come home from work and you're like, let me tell you about my day. It's like, no, we experienced that day together. Like we know how the other person felt or how that went,
Yeah.
And then like you just, you both have your strengths and not necessarily weaknesses, but you play off each other. Just even, Natalie being on the show, like even in this interview, it's just like this interview is different because I have my wife here with us.
Yeah.
And like, when we talk about, like, we have a lot of women guests and we talk about some sensitive issues, I always try my best to empathize. But like, it's a lot easier having my wife here who is
Really
also a woman and
understands
it can understand. And it's like,
Right.
just moments like that, and really makes you appreciate when you have someone who that really feels like a partnership at that point,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's been moments with you and Mark where like, he stepped up where you felt like you needed someone to step up for you and vice versa. And those are always really great moments.
Yeah.
You spent some of your pivotal years with Zendaya. What is your relationship like today with her?
It's good. Yeah. Well, I think we mostly text on birthdays and things like that. When something good happens in the other person's life, we'll both shoot each other a text. I think the last time I saw her was her birthday party, but
That's lovely.
yeah, we live in different places too.
Yeah. I mean, my, best friend is in Georgia, so it's like we don't, but I think just being able to like it's like you don't have to talk every day.
Yeah, pick up where you left
But
off
you just,
when you do see
it's
each
like
other.
there
You're
was
like,
no time
everything
has
comes
passed.
all the way back.
Yeah, that's so lovely. I'm so glad.
Also,
Yeah,
like
she's
Natalie
wonderful.
said, it's like these transformative years in anyone's life. Like, there's very few people who can relate to certain
Exactly what you
experiences.
went through. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to at least keep that bond.
Yeah, we'll
even
always
if it
have
is,
that bond.
here and there.
Yeah.
Bella, this has been
lovely.
lovely.
Yeah, you guys are really, really amazing. I know that we did a little something before, but you are just so incredible. And
Thank you.
yeah, it is so great to meet you.
Thank you. You are a beautiful, brilliant person, and I am so glad that we had the honor to get to know you in this way. I have the utmost respect for you. So thank you so
Ditto.
much.
Is there anything you wanted to put out, promote, share?
Thorne Dynasty, bitch.
Yeah, Thorne Dynasty. If you guys are liking it, I have a code as well. Thorne 20. Thorne 20.
There we go.
20% off.
We'll put it in the show description too.
Yeah. I'm wearing it. If anybody's digging some jewelry and likes jewelry,
where can they find it?
Come peep it. On thorndynasty.com.
There you go. Thanks for being so vulnerable and open and honest.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah.
That's always when the tears come on, it's always here we go kind of feeling. Oh God.
Well, thank you again. And thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you back tomorrow. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.